I the asshole for having my husband drive me back to shore when I wasn't allowed to fish? I just don't understand the question. I'm gonna take the time to read. Okay. What? I'm 32 female. Rented a boat 2 weeks ago to go fishing. My husband suggested we celebrate his birthday at the same time, which is coming right up. Because he loves boating, no problem with it, but the whole rental was originally so I could fish. Now we know where it's going. Couldn't fish because there was too many people, and then, like, screw this, she wanted to go back soon after that so that she could fish. He invited a mutual friend Greg along, which was no big deal, but it soon turned into Greg driving everywhere and telling us to relax and we have a few beer. He refused to sit in one spot for more than 10-15 minutes, so I wasn't able to fish at all. Every time I would have a line out for more than 5 minutes, he would ask if we were ready to move on to the next spot. At one point, even bringing us to a crowded sandbar beach where I obviously wasn't able to fish. Why? Could you get a human with that? Like, you know what they say? There's plenty of fish in the sea. Replace your husband. So roughly 3 hours in, I asked if they could stop driving around so I could do some fishing, and he immediately stopped the boat. No questions asked, but it got really awkward after that. Greg making comment about how he wished he liked to fish so he could understand the hype of sitting in one single spot while in a boat, because he can't stand it. He don't like fishing. That's really one of the reasons why I don't like fishing. That's all good. Like, I just don't go fish. If I don't like fishing, I don't go fish. It's as simple. I got invited by my family to go fish last week for the last 2 weeks, and I just said, I don't like to fish. They are going on yearly fish trip since I'm since I'm a kid, but like since I'm 16, I never went there. I don't like to fish, and my way to be like not fishing is actually not to go to fish. So Greg's a bit of a witch there. Heavy sighting and pacing the boat, etc. I know for a fact he wasn't trying to be a douche. He truly just couldn't stand sitting in one spot so I could fish. So my husband at this point was getting uncomfortable with how awkward Greg was unintentionally making things, and says, well, babe, are you ready to move to the next spot? At this point, I just asked them to bring me back to shore. Both of them started protesting and apologizing, saying it was fine and we could stay there longer. Now I understand the title. But at this point, I was so over the entire trip because I didn't get to fish any more than 25 minutes at this point. They bring me back to shore, still apologizing, and Greg saying he was sorry for ruining my fishing trip. And I just said it was fine and walked off to my car without saying another word to them. Okay. In all honesty, she could have just enjoyed the day. I understand that she was flustered. I don't say there's a true asshole here. I think both of them were not having the same goal, and it should have been discussed way before. Well, after my husband got home, I was really quiet, and when I asked why, he was very quiet. He said that it was a bummer that I choose to leave instead of just enjoying the boat for what it was. He said he understood my frustration, but he couldn't understand why I took it to a level of ruining my entire day and leaving him on the boat that was meant for us. You invited Greg. Greg paid half the cost I spent to make up for it too, so now I'm wondering if I'm really in the wrong, considering the whole point of me getting the boat was to go fishing. It's honestly, there's no hassle there. Like, that's a lack of communication. Greg thought it was for a boat trip, and she thought it was for fishing, and Greg probably did not understand that it was for fishing. Like, expectations were not the same, and they weren't met on both sides. So I don't think we have an asshole. Both Greg and my husband knew I rented the boat to fish. My husband even brought his fishing pole but didn't end up using it. I don't know. OP offered the... Okay, let's go down. Let's go down. The explanation for why they think they might be an asshole. I feel like I'm an asshole because it was obvious they weren't trying to be jerk or mean. but they still ruined my trip regardless. Like, I think you both ruined. She also killed the purpose for why, like, Greg was there. I think both are kind of asshole there. There's no real asshole. They were both exactly 50-50. You'd say Greg and Osben are more in the wrong, so it would be 45-55. But like, our reaction to the situation, instead of making the best of it, decided to be a little childish about that. So both are in the wrong, but not for the same reason. It doesn't have to be awkward. My significant other and I have been together for 16 years. We've done camping trips, mini vacays, or day trip with one extra person many times. It's only awkward if you make it awkward. We make it a point to be welcoming and chill. Yeah, and she kind of made it awkward. Being said, Greg took over the ship. Like, the thing, like, Greg was a little asshole-ish by taking over the trip, but she could have made the best out of it and rented another day. And instead, like, both day were ruins, instead of having like her day ruin and being able to like fix up another trip maybe later in the summer. So Greg is a bit more of a problem with the husband, but you're 45% an asshole. 55 for Greg and your husband. Together they made you a bad day. I get that part. You were really wishing to fish. I don't get the hype of fishing either. I would be the Greg, okay? I'd be the Greg. I'd be the Greg or the husband. I'm so sorry. I don't get the hype of fishing.